Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Together we'll chant Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, the first 10 verses.
Om Atha Dashamodhyayah Shri Bhagavanuvacha Bhuya eva mahabaho Shruno me paramam vachaha Yatteham priyamanaya Vakshyami hitakamyaya Na me vidussuraganaha Prabhavam namaharshayah Ahamadirhi devanam Maharshinam cha sarvashah Yo mamajamanadim cha Vetti lokamaheshwaram Asammudhas samartyeshu Sarvapapaih pramuchyate Buddhirjnanasammohah Kshama satyam damashamaha Sukham dukkham bhavo bhavah Bhayam cha bhayameva cha Ahimsa samata tushtihi Tapodanam yasho yashah Bhavanti bhava bhutanam Matta eva prithag vidhaha Mahashaya sapta purve Chatvaro manavastatha Madbhava manasa jataha Yesham loka imah prajaha Etam vibhutim yogam cha Mama yo vetti tattvataha So vikampena yogena Yujyate natra samshayah Aham sarvasya prabhavah Mattah sarvam pravartate Iti matva bhajante mam Buddha bhava samanvitaha Macchitta madgata pranaha Bodhayantah parasparam Kathayantascha mam nityam Tushyanti cha ramanti cha Tesham satata yuktanam Bhajatam priti purvakam Dadami buddhi yogam tam Yena mamupayanti te
We were studying verses 4 and 5. where we are talking about the characteristics that arise from Brahman. How Brahman manifests. What do we say? I mean, how does God express himself through us? The simple answer to that question that most people would probably think of is everything that we do, everything that is noble, everything that is done for a higher cause, anything good, noble, higher, all that is impelled by God. This is an interesting concept that many people have, where they relate divinity to goodness, not recognizing a simple fact of life, that the divinity is all pervading. If you agree that divinity is all pervading, then it must therefore follow that in everything God exists, which means you can call it good or bad. You can call it higher or lower. You can call it pleasant or unpleasant. Whatever it is the divine manifestation. In the Puranas, in that kind of talking, they call it the Leela of the Lord, the play of the Lord, the sport of the Lord. We have to learn not to segregate the Lord from anything. When you're in a marriage, you don't segregate the marriage from anything, right? Sometimes your spouse is good, sometimes your spouse is bad, sometimes she is irritating, sometimes she's friendly. But you don't segregate the marriage from it. Means in and through all those experiences, the good, the bad, the ugly, sometimes he or she is sick, sometimes he or she is healthy, through the good, through the bad, through everything, one constant stays. This is my spouse. Right? You don't say only the good one is my spouse. And the whole thing, the whole package is my spouse. The good, the bad, everything is my spouse. You understand that. So no matter whether the experiences are good or bad, the marriage is there. And when it's not, when you should decide to take a divorce, for instance, then there's no marriage, again in the good and the bad. Similarly, your spiritual path. In your spiritual path, as long as you're on it, you're married to the Lord. So in the good, in the bad, in the whatever, your appreciation of his presence stays. He is there. He may be good or bad, but he is there. And if you divorce, then you're off the spiritual path. Then you go your own way and he goes his own way. So as you hold the memory of the marriage in and through the good and the bad, as you hold the knowledge of the fact that you are married through the good and the bad, so too on the spiritual path, you hold the thought of divinity no matter what. Absolutely no matter what. If good happens, divine. If bad happens, also divine. So does that mean you accept the bad and live with it? No, it doesn't mean that. It means you deal with it moment to moment. If your wife is being nice to you or your husband is being nice to you, you deal with that. If your husband is being bad to you, you deal with that. You don't say, he's my husband, so he can beat me up. There's no such thing, right? If he beats you up, then I'm not giving any, you beat him back. No, I don't want to say that. But you deal with it whatever way you deem best. But you know, he's my husband or she's my wife, or the wife beats up the husband. Both ways, the same story. Because some wives also are, how should I say, are capable. So either way, you don't forget. So if somebody is beating you up, then you deal with that. And if somebody is being sweet to you, then you deal with that. So similarly, if your experiences are good, you deal with that. Somebody gives you a gulab jamun, have it, enjoy it. Somebody gives you an insult, deal with it in however way you deem best at that point. But whatever it is, the one underlying factor is the divine presence, whatever. So it's not to make us passive people and say, okay, now God gave me this horrible situation and I have to live with it. Now, it's very interesting. There was a boy who wanted to join the academy. And so he came with his parents. And he happened to have an extra finger. You know, some people have 6 fingers on a hand. So he had a little small protrusion, an extra finger. So Swamiji told him, like, why is that there? Why didn't you remove it? So the father said, the Lord's gift. So why should we remove it? However, the Lord has kept us. Swamiji's response for that, get rid of that thing. Anything unnecessary, remove it, please. I mean, please don't take this. I don't know now what you take this as. But anything that is not the way it should be, deal with it. Whatever way you deem best, of course, nobody is to tell you what to do with it. But don't take the stance. Actually, he didn't say that. What he did say was, if the Lord gives you malaria, will you live with it? Will you not take medicine? So what is this theory that on some things the God gives, we will deal with them, and some things we will not? So what kind of ridiculous theory is this? Actually, I'm giving you a less dramatic example. His example was, if your child got bitten by a mad dog, would you say, God gave it, let it be this way? Or would you rush your child to the doctor? What would you do? So this belief we have that if God has given it, we have to keep it, is a, largely speaking, hypocritical belief. Largely speaking, because we use it at our convenience. When it's convenient to us, then God gave it, we have to keep it. And when it's not convenient to us, then we rush and handle it. So let us know that we have to handle it regardless of whether God has given it or somebody else has given it. That you have to handle it is a given. So now he's going to give us qualities which are manifestations of the Lord. All clear up to this point? Anybody has any doubt on this one point, please? Not on any other point. The only
Yes, ma'am,
point,
clear.
clear, okay. The only point we have over here is that everything is a manifestation of the Lord, and we remember him in and through everything. That does not mean that we put up with everything. It means we deal with it, but we know that it is a manifestation of the Lord. It is his sport, it is his leela. It's like you're playing a game with him. Now he's giving you a good shot. Now you please respond. Don't say, oh my God. Suppose you're playing with your beloved, then that you're playing badminton. Okay, and then the beloved hits one in a very difficult position. Then you don't say, oh, I should not try for it because my beloved hit the shot. You don't say that, right? You're playing the game, play it. You may be playing versus your best friend, but you play to win. Isn't it? And whoever wins, good players shake hands after it. As long as you're playing, play to win. And the game being over, shake hands on it. That same sporting spirit is Vedanta. अब इससे ज़्यादा easy क्या हो सकता है जिंदगी में? And you're playing the game, play it. When the game is over, shake hands. Meaning, don't hold anything. Oh, he's a horrible man. Look how he defeated me. Do you say that? You don't say that. You shake hands and you walk back together. So, that's the only point here. Everything is a manifestation of the Lord. You remember the Lord in and through everything. That does not mean you don't deal with it. You deal with it. Okay, 3 distinct ideas on 3 different facets of the same point. All right, you're good so far. Then let's read what are the characteristics that manifest from the Lord. So first one, buddhi. It starts with buddhi because in terms of manifestation, it's the first manifestation. What is buddhi? Buddhi is our capacity of discrimination. It's the first manifestation. Your first manifestation means there is self, there is vasanas, both unmanifest. When a thought first manifests, it manifests in your intellect. That is why if you do that thing, when you first think of it, you're able to do it. Have you ever noticed this phenomenon that, there is somebody, there's some celebrity, let us say, for instance, you went to a wedding and there's a celebrity there. And that celebrity is just hanging out there, nothing much is happening. So you think, why don't I go and say hello? Because I really like this guy's work. You think that thought. Now tell me what happens. Who will tell me? Because I give you all examples, then you all say, I don't know whether this is true or false. So tell me, here's a celebrity, you're at a wedding. Now we are all in the wedding season. All the big fat Indian weddings are taking place. Not so fat as before, but they are still taking place. Now there's a celebrity. Someone you like. Kanika, who's your favorite celebrity?
Sorry, ma'am. My favorite celebrity is Shah Rukh Khan.
Shah Rukh Khan. Okay. So here's Shah Rukh Khan at a wedding. He's just sitting there because you know what we have to do at a wedding. You have 2 options. You've got 3 options basically at the wedding. What can you do? You can eat. You can
Gossip.
you can talk, okay, but Shyam, let's keep it. Okay. Or actually, that option is becoming less and less nowadays at weddings. And you have the option of eating. And largely speaking, if you're not eating, then you're dancing. These are the 2, broadly speaking, options that they give to us. They give that to us by simply keeping the music so loud that talking becomes such a strain that you decide to either eat or dance, one of the 2 things. And of course, between the songs get a bit softer, you can talk also. This is what you can do. So now he didn't want to eat, he didn't want to dance. So he was sitting there. Now you see him sitting there, he's sitting there alone. No. Just imagine, Kanika. I mean, I don't know if Shah Rukh Khan ever sits alone, but he's sitting alone. Now, you think, oh, I really admire this person. Let me go and speak to him. Now tell me, what happens?
You might get intimidated and if you think too much, you may not be able to approach.
If you're a shy person, yes, of course you won't approach. But if you're a bold person, you'll go straight up to him and talk to him.
Kanika, did you ever meet Shah Rukh Khan? You must have met him. So I hope
Yes,
he is
ma'am,
a celebrity.
I did 3 films with him.
You didn't what?
I did 3 films with him.
You did 3 films with him. Oh, I see. Then he's not a celebrity for you, Kanika. Then he's one of your buddies. He's your colleague. Think of a celebrity who you Sorry, I asked the wrong person for a celebrity. I thought you would have a celebrity. You can't give your colleagues. It's like me saying, I don't know who. Like saying for me, celebrity is Aditi. Arey, but work together now. How can I call her celebrity? I can't even call you celebrity. We work together.
So then, ma'am, APJ Abdul Kalam.
Okay. APJ Abdul Kalam. Now we have a celebrity. Now tell me. You did meet him, right? Have you met him?
No, ma'am, never, unfortunately.
Okay. So suppose you were at a function and he was sitting quietly. Okay. He's a better thing because he'll be sitting quietly somewhere. Then what happens? You think you should go and meet him. Then what happens?
I would be like falling over myself to go and meet him, and first I would ask his ADC that can I come and talk to him, and that's it. And I think he was very approachable, so I would be very happy to meet him and just go crazy. Like, when can I talk to him? It would be like that.
Well,
Ma'am,
this is what you think now.
Hari Om, at that
Hari Om.
point of time, the intellect, we would first get the thought. Then I think Vedanta mind, we would start debating, should we go, should we not go? And then the body would take us there, depending on how confident we are or however it is.
Not depending on how confident we are. That's why I chose Kanika. She's very confident. But she doesn't seem to have met somebody she really admires because she sits there. What happens to most of us most of the time?
You get nervous and you will mumble and fumble your words by the time you approach the celebrity.
Words won't come out from your mouth.
You normally you won't even take the first step.
You not go.
You won't even, you'll sit there. Everybody will do this. We'll sit there thinking, should I? Shouldn't I? What if he gets irritated with me? Maybe I should have a good sentence to say. What should be my first sentence? You start off like that, right?
I think nothing seems so important. Like, what would you tell a celebrity? What could you actually say? There's nothing to say. So you'd just be spellbound, kind of, I think. I don't know.
No, I'm assuming that you want to go and speak to her.
Yeah.
So then
Appreciate and admire his work, I guess, or the person that he is, or
yeah, I
value.
think somebody who has actually been in the presence of somebody they wanted to speak to should tell us, because you all are talking from class. In class, we are all gods. All of us are confident. We know exactly what we're doing and we are going to execute it.
So here's this example. We were at a restaurant and my kids were there, and Ritik Roshan and I think somebody, a couple people walked in, and there was just us and them for lunch over there. And then the kids got excited, and so I was like, okay, we can go and say hello to them. And they followed me. But by the time we reached the table, the kids had disappeared. And I was just standing there staring at Ritik Roshan, wondering now what, because I didn't want to talk to him. But the kids lost nerve. And then I got shooed from there by the server saying, you're intruding on his privacy. So so that all that excitement didn't translate into action. They got nervous and had second thoughts and disappeared.
That is what happens. Actually, they were very brave. They actually came with you a little while also. Normally, you continue to sit there debating it in your head. What you're going to say?
Janki ji, can I give you a really example?
Yes, please.
I was in London, and I was very, very fond of George Michael and his songs and everything. I made the effort to find out the address where he lives, and I went all the way up till his house near his gate, but didn't have the courage to go and figure out if I could really meet him. So I went away.
So you went away.
I went away. After all the mehnat I did, I didn't have the courage to go. I thought he may not entertain.
This is really what happens, but you all are actually taking some action. 9 out of 10 times, you meet somebody who you would like to speak to, and you cannot do it. Now, my question to you is, what happened? You wanted to. When I say you wanted to, means your mind wanted to. Want is a mind-led thing, right? So you wanted to. Maybe you go to the academy one day, you'll see Swamiji, he'll be walking by himself somewhere alone, and you say, oh, that's Swamiji, I must go and say something to him. But you won't. Why not? Do you all remember what we were talking about, by the way? What was the point around here?
The manifested ability.
About the intellect.
In the intellect.
Manifested.
Buddhi.
Now you're all getting smart, huh?
The intellect is not strong enough to understand the goal.
No, wait, Ganesh, we didn't go to strong, intellect strong. What is the point we were on? Remember, we were on buddhi.
Yes.
And the point was the first manifestation is buddhi.
Of a thought, yes, comes in our intellect.
Comes in your intellect.
Yes.
Now, when that thought comes in your intellect and your intellect executes it, like you see the celebrity, I gave you this long, elaborate example of the celebrity to tell you that if you did not think any further and you simply walk straight up to him, you will talk to him. But if you sat down and you let that thought get into your mind, and the mind will throw up all sorts of things, you will never end up performing that action. The first manifestation is in your intellect. The thought comes in your intellect. That is why procrastination is what should I say? Is of the mind.
Not a good thing.
No, is of the mind.
Of the mind.
The mind will put it off. So if you find that a lot of the times you don't seem to be doing the things that you had intended to do, which were obviously what was supposed to be done, then do it right there and then. Do it right there and then. Suppose you are saying, suppose you can't study. You say, oh, in the morning I can't study. I can't get up and study. I should be studying. I can't get up. No, whatever time you had that thought, open your book and study for 10 minutes. Do it there and then. And you will find you get a lot of stuff done. But if you allow something to go into the pending category, it just stays in the pending category. Okay, this is all off the point. Okay, the whole point.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yeah, okay, yeah, Naim.
Okay, so like this, talk about love at first sight. You see somebody and you're suddenly, isn't that a manifestation in the mind first rather than intellect?
Love is what?
Mind.
Mind. It's already come to the mind. Intellect has been bypassed. I don't know what happened. If your intellect was there, then you would know whether this was an appropriate person. Have you ever experienced that you look at somebody and you think, no? Or you look at somebody and say, possible? That is your first manifestation. So when you have said no, that person is out there and then. But if you have ignored that no and seen something else, or felt the yes and therefore gone forward, then you're on the right track. What they call love at first sight is actually a nonsensical construct, because your intellect has already told you something. It's already told you something. And then now let's see what happens. So, Naim, this is of interest to you. So if you do like somebody, then go speak straight away. Don't wait and think, have I fallen in love? Am I? Straight away. So at least you keep the door open. Otherwise, she's gone. At least the door stays open. Okay. So love at first sight is, at first sight, your intellect will come. Then something else will come. And whatever that something else is a dangerous one, because either you listen to that first thought of yours, whatever it was. Yes, that's how people fall in love with completely inappropriate people. Why should you fall in love with somebody inappropriate? I don't understand. Can't you fall in love with somebody appropriate? First, in your mind, first, if you are planning to get married, should I even continue this because it's not?
Ma'am, if you keep thinking about all these things when you fall in love, then it's not love, then it's manipulation, or your intellect comes too much into it, then the heart is not involved.
Falling in love, I think, is more of a first time, like just an attraction. And then you may explore, why, what, where, whatever.
Love and attachment.
There are not much calculations in love. It just you have
Jackie,
to.
this is
it-
going
it
to
is-
be the class, I guess, till 11:30 now.
No,
But
and they are
seriously,
all
ma'am, on a serious note, may I ask that is love a part of the intellect or the mind or a
Mind.
vasana?
Mind.
love is an emotion. Emotions are in the mind.
So can it also be called a vasana? Because it's a desire.
Oh, desires convert to emotions. Desires are the root of emotions. Only where there are desires, there can be emotions. Since you desire a partner, you have these emotions of falling in love. So, if you are, let me tell you this, not that it makes any difference in anyone's life, मैं तो बोलती रहती हूँ, if you are choosing to get married, if you have decided to get married, and you are looking for a partner to get married, first and foremost, figure out what your needs are from a marriage. First, you figure that much out. Okay? Then in your head, know that some people, whoever, when you're sort of, I don't know, you go on shadi.com or whatever you do to, I'm not advertising shadi.com, whatever it is nowadays, I don't know what is there. And you go there, you figure out people who seem appropriate in that, or if you're arranged, or if you're meeting people, however in the world you do it, or on, what is that thing, Tinder. And you're right or left swiping, I don't know which one, right swipe or left swipe, I don't know, whichever one it is. Then first look, first with what your needs are, look. Then you will find 4 or 5 people within that category of who fulfill the needs that you have. After you have done so much, amongst those 4 or 5 which you have already chosen, feel free to fall in love. Fall in love with any one of them. Doesn't matter. If it doesn't really matter between these 4 or 5 who you marry, so you can marry whichever one you like the best. Now you say, oh no, I can't do so much thinking before falling in love. Fine. As a human being, you have that option too. You cannot escape the thinking. You can either do it before the marriage or you can do it after the marriage. The choice is yours. The thinking will have to be done. I'm sorry to tell you, either you deal with the problem after creating it, or you think enough so you don't have to create a problem. The choice is always yours. Vedanta never prescribes anything to us. It's very nice that way. It's very sweet that way. They said, no, I don't agree with you. Where is Swapnil? Swapnil? Kanika, too late for you.
Yes.
But Swapnil,
Yeah.
you have the option of falling in love and getting married.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay? And who is to tell you whether that is right or wrong? But you
Ah.
have no option as far as thinking your way through life is concerned. The question is, do you want to think before the situation, or do you want to think after the situation? Because if you have not thought carefully what your needs from marriage are, then when your spouse does not fulfill those needs, you will have to start thinking, what am I supposed to do with this? I have this in my lap now. Is that clear?
Hariom,
Ma'am, you've
One second,
written
one
off.
second. Huh? Wait, Swapnil,
Yeah.
have I addressed your
Yes. Yes.
point?
Yeah, and I absolutely agree with that.
Oh, okay, very good. One life saved. Okay. Who said something else?
Ma'am, I was saying you wrote off my chances of getting into a relationship absolutely in 1 second. Kunika, too late
Oh,
for
I'm
me.
so sorry, Kanika. I thought
It's
it
okay.
wasn't
That
there.
is a
Sorry, I'm
sensible
so
thing.
sorry.
That is a sensible thing to do at 57, I guess.
No,
Thanks.
not at all, not at all, not at all. No such thing. Why? You can be 87 and still be ready. There's nothing to prevent that. But whenever at 17, 57 or 87, whenever you do it, please do it the right way.
Hopefully,
Otherwise,
yes, this time. Yes.
otherwise there is always after the event for us to deal with things. It's always there. It's coming. Be aware that it is coming. So you take your chances. Which side of the issue do you want to deal with? When do you want to deal with it?
Hariom, ma'am.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Ganesh.
there are contradictions, ma'am. You gave when you gave this example, you told that you have to go through multiple filters, but first you told you just go and take the action. So why is there a contradiction?
Because one is talking, the other one is linking your life for marriage. You know what will happen when you link your life with somebody else?
I don't have the experience, but I understand.
Yeah, please be terrified of it.
Okay.
Because once you get in, getting out is difficult, painful, and often not even possible. So think carefully before you get in. The kind of problems people create, I am giving this advice a lot because it's my students, and when they go wrong, then I am holding the baby. So I'm trying to just do some efficient work before these people do these crazy things. And it's so stupid. I tell you what is even more stupid and irritating is many times people marry the right person who is fulfilling all their needs, but they're too idiotic to even know this because they never found out what their needs are. Now they are saying, oh, the dal is too salty. Pagal hai kya? You want a whack or something? It's so stupid. You have got a person who is good for you and still you're unhappy. अब इन लोगों के साथ क्या करूं? I really don't know. Because when they talk to you, they are genuinely miserable and unhappy. So can you tell them, if you continue to be unhappy, I will come and vacuum myself? You can't say that because they say, firstly, I'm so unhappy. Now you're telling me this. You can't say that. Can you be unsympathetic? Because they are suffering. They can't sleep. Their blood pressure has gone up. Their cholesterol is gone up. They will reach ICU if they continue in this condition. So what? What do you do with them? So sensible thing, know what you need. If you have 7, 8, 10 out of the 10 things that you have listed, then shut up. Stupid, no? Because like that, there's no end to it. You could have everything you need. You could have 10 on 10. But one day, the hair of that person isn't the way you like. Now you've gone into a fit. Oh my God, you spent 10 rupees more. You've gone into a fit. I don't know what to do with y'all. Not y'all. Y'all are my nice children, but I'm just talking about these other people. What to do? So, know what you need. Know that you have what you need. Because a lot of the time, the problem is we already have it, but we don't know it. In Marathi, there's a beautiful sentence. Tuza ahe tuja pashi, pari tu jaga chuklashi. What you want is with you, but you're hunting in the wrong place. This is such a fabulous statement because it's true for everything, right up to the self. It's a fantastic statement. Tuza ahe tuja pashi, hari tuza ga suklashi. The tuza ahe, yours is, tuja pashi, with you, paritu, but you, zaga, place, suklashi. You are mistaken about the place where it is. So, coming back to buddhi. Wait, I have a whole bunch of things here. And it scares you. Don't be scared, Kanika. There's nothing to be scared about in this whole wide world intro. There is
No,
only
ma'am, it scars you. It, as in,
scars
it
you. Oh,
scars
scars you. I thought you just, yes, and it scars you. That's true. It's very, very painful. So try not to create the problem. Try to anticipate it and deal with it. The first thought comes to mind or intellect. Please clarify. First thought, Surendra, comes to intellect, because your first manifestation of vasana is intellect. Then the mind takes over. When the mind takes over, now it's become a desire, it's become an emotion, it's become a like and dislike, whatever in the world. So, first thought, intellect. But that sometimes goes by before you even know what happened. It's just one thought, your first thought, intellect. Then mind, multiplicity of thoughts, so many things. Crazy stuff. Everybody's mind, your mind, my mind, everybody's mind. Okay, so it's not like there's some people who do this. No, we all do exactly the same thing. We are human beings. It's all reduced to mathematical formulas with us, almost mathematical formulas. First thought, and then multiplicity of thought. It's gone now. Okay, somebody's rude to you also. First thought is, he is rude. Finish, no, he is rude. It's a matter of fact. How dare he be rude? Who does he think I am? Just because he's so rich, he thinks he can talk to me like that. Just because he's my boss, he can talk to me like that. Multiplicity of thoughts. At first thought, he is rude. Yes, he is rude. Next thing. Simple. Life is very simple. But no. It doesn't work so simple. One thought becomes a multiplicity of thought, and that is the mind. The multiplicity is the mind. Bahushaka hanantascha. Bahushaka, says the Gita, chapter 2. Bahushaka, many branches. He anantascha, ananta, infinite. Ananta, non-ending. Anta, ending. Ananta, not ending. The mind will not end. This mind can carry on and on and on and on and on and on. Ad infinitum ad nauseum. So, Surendra, first thought comes to mind or intellect. First thought, singular. Intellect. Two thoughts, mind. Because it multiplies in the mind. Bahushaka hanantascha. It just multiplies. Then you put your head down on the pillow at night. Will it stop then? No, it will not stop then. You'll tell your mind, "Arey, you idiot, it is night time. 12 baj gaye. You mere 12 baja rahe ho. So जाओ अब." But mind will know. That is why they make cartoons like that. Because you're doing it, you're sounding like that cartoon. No, but क्यों ऐसे बोला नहीं चाहिए, ये correct है. पागल, मेरा सिर नहीं खाओ. Isn't it? So, okay, Surendra, first thought comes to intellect. And there's no problem. He is rude. Fine, he is rude. Nothing. He is stupid. Okay, he's stupid. Fine. But he's so stupid. Why can you learn? You know how these people are. But okay, he's stupid. Ho gaya na? He is stupid. Let's move on now from there. So, first thought comes to intellect. Read Vedanta treatise, chronology of action. First thought comes an intellect. Shilpa Kumar. Shilpa, vasanas are not manifestations. Shilpa, where are you?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay, please define a vasana. Are you in VFC or not? I can't remember.
No, I'm not.
Okay, so everybody, okay, compulsory, you have to do VFC. Because if you don't do VFC, then basics are not clear. So Shilpa, what are vasanas? Please tell us.
It's inclinations that you have, inclinations.
Actually, yes, you can say that. They're actually inclinations which your personality is made up of, but they are not really an inclination. They are what creates an inclination.
Okay.
So vasanas by definition are unmanifest. Vasanas manifest first as a thought. I have a vasana for a mango. So I get a thought of a mango. Then this thought multiplies and I get desire for mango. And the pressure of the desire makes me perform some action, which maybe eat a mango or buy a mango or whatever action I perform as a consequence of.
Understood. Sorry, it's unmanifested is your point. Yeah. Thank you.
Vasanas by definition are always unmanifest. How to catch that first thought? Not referring to Naim example. Okay. Priya, you're clear about that. Naim, it's become your example from now on. All this. How to catch that first thought? You don't have to catch that first thought. You simply don't have to lose it. There's nothing to catch because it's already there. What you have to catch is the multiplicity. You keep it at one thought. It is one thought. Just leave it there. What you're going to catch is the multiplicity. And if you see yourself thinking unnecessarily, stop it there and then. Because if you could not hold the force of 10 thoughts, which you have now developed, how will you hold the force of 1,000,000 thoughts, which it's going to become? So please hold it there and then. Hold the multiplicity. I'll hold the development of more thoughts on that. And how do you hold it? The simplest thing is think of something else immediately. Think of the Lord. Think of anything, but think of something else immediately. There is Bharat. Bharat is going to tick me off today because every time he starts by saying that what is the topic for today? And then he says, can we say this? So I say, yes, fine. And then we come to class and then like naughty children, we don't do that topic. And I get ticked off, you guys have to save me, otherwise you will tick me off very badly. Say, what, you said our topic, but I didn't do the topic to do.
Janki ji, love, attachment, marriage, you have to, it's a given that it's going to be the whole class.
Yes, now Naeem's topic has to be completely debarred. Naeem, your name is right, poor fellow. Just this Amrita. Amrita, are you new?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, first day, Amrita.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, I hope Bharat will forgive us for this. Just this discussion is going with love, marriage, and rudeness. I'd like to ask you, is it okay if I separated from toxic mother-in-law and sister-in-law and have a good separate life? And now they are calling us back in family just to hold their family status high. Need your one thought to keep going in whatever happened in my life. Amrita, these are very important questions, and we can't just offhandedly answer them. But if I had to say something that could possibly be of any kind of consequence, because I don't know when you say all these things what exactly it is. But if nobody is beating you, nobody is trying to put you on fire or something ridiculous like that, if it is the normal joke of human beings, if it is that kind of thing, then I suggest first you stop calling people toxic. Because the moment we do call them toxic, we forget that every human being is a nuanced human being. There is some good in them, there is some bad in them. We have to learn the art of avoiding the good and avoiding the bad and dealing with the good. This is an art we must have. And this art, we have to cultivate within ourselves. If we go about rubbing people the wrong way, we don't know how to stop doing that, and we constantly meet only their bad, then we'll do that with everybody one day. Because everybody has a bad to manifest. So first thing is to correct ourselves insofar as learning to appreciate that everybody has good and bad. How do I interact with them in such a way that I meet their good side instead of meeting their bad side is an art I have to learn. Again, I'm repeating because, with women, it's everyone. Women, men, everything. You have to be extremely careful that nothing terrible otherwise is going on. Okay, so if it is nothing terrible otherwise going on, then we have to learn this. That doesn't mean we put up with anybody's nonsense. We learn how to deal with it. Like, for instance, right now, as you are, what is being said is that I was living separately with my husband happily, and because after separating from the mother-in-law and sister-in-law, and they're calling you back, and you have said just to hold their family status high. This sounds like you've already decided somebody is very bad, and no matter what good they do subsequently, you feel that there is a negative intent. They are calling us back is a fact, I'm assuming. To hold their family status high is an interpretation of that fact. So it would be better if you made out a list of the things that agitated you in that place in the first place. Decide what you can do about these various things internally, and what negotiation you want to do with your husband, not with your mother-in-law and sister-in-law, about how the others you can be protected from. And that would be a rational way to go about it. Some people can get enamored by the fact that they are being called back and say, okay, we are one family and we'll all live happily, which may be your husband's point of view. But actually there is an inherent issue that somebody has to deal with. So you can't go there just like that, but you can go there after rational analysis of whatever was the situation that was bothersome. Maybe the house is too small, maybe a young couple cannot live in a one-bedroom house, with, I'm assuming, at least 3 other people, mother-in-law, father-in-law, and sister-in-law, and who else. So maybe it's a space constraint, maybe, I don't know what the problem is because you haven't told us, but you should know for yourself what is the problem. Understand whether there's any possibility of going back and dealing with it. And if there is no possibility of going back and dealing with it, then I suggest you stay right where you are, but then develop a good relationship with these people. I hope that's of some help.
Yeah, it is. Thank you.
To catch the first thought, do we need to be the seer? How does the seer see it? Priya, seer and all, don't use big words. To catch all this, this is, you read other philosophies and they're so beautiful that we get completely enchanted with it. Everybody keeps quoting something else. If you're taking any advice from me, I suggest you stop reading everything else. You're not taking
I'm not reading
advice.
anything else. Sorry, I'm not reading anything else.
No, Priya, please, you're free to read whatever else you want. I'm just making a suggestion because for everybody, not just for you, because this is constant. People are throwing at me, they read this there, read this there, read this there. Don't read it, please, because all you end up doing is confusing yourself. Because different people are speaking from different perspectives. You understand the whole picture and then you're free to read anything anywhere else. So that it will just all become clear to you. So to catch the first thought, do we need to be the seer? To catch the first thought is you're not catching the first thought, you're catching the multiplicity of thoughts. So how does one do it? By staying with the first thought only. You stay with the first thought means you register the first thought and then you move on to something else. Don't let it idle in your mind.
Yeah, I guess that was my question. How do I register the first thought?
The first thought is there. If you don't make it the second thought, the first is there. But now you've already made it 10 thoughts by the time you realize, oh my God, I'm thinking extra about this thing. It's already become 10 thoughts. Then you must change what you're thinking immediately. Think of anything else. If you say, oh no, I can't think of anything else, these thoughts are going too much, then for heaven's sake, go for a jog. Pick up some weights. Do anything that exercises your physical body so much that your mind can't think. So, but you have to stop it. Otherwise,
Great tip. Thank you.
Otherwise, it becomes 10 million thoughts, so forget it, out of our control. How to catch the first thought? Do morning study. How you catch it is study right now. You got the thought, no? Do morning study right now. Do 10 minutes straight away. Okay? Because often, if you just execute that, if it's the right thought, you just execute it, then you're good always. Just do it right there and then. And then slowly the mind starts loving it. Whatever, this is a big trick of life. That if you do something immediately, which is right, then the mind follows suit. It does it. It continues to do it. But you must do that immediately so that the mind can enjoy. Like you get up in the morning, it's so beautiful. Eventually your mind says, oh, it's so beautiful, so wonderful. Now that thought you encourage, please. So that the mind associates happiness with that early morning rising. And once the mind has done that, you're through. The mind will do anything for happiness. It's very mad it is. So that's why set its direction. Once you set the direction, the mind will follow. Mind is a crack fellow. He doesn't have any thinking of his own, any rationality of his own. So if you have rationed it out, the mind will simply follow. It is the nature of the mind to follow. Use the nature of the mind. If you let it do its own thing, you've had it. But if you use it, you will really go places in life. How to catch. Okay. I hope it does help suljao something, Kanika. Okay, so I guess we never went any further than the buddhi. If at all we did any of the buddhi. So all those who are new, please excuse us today. Are there new? Besides Amrita, is there anybody new?
We do.
Swapnil, you are new. Okay. I've been seeing the name Swapnil, probably another Swapnil. Only Swapnil and Amrita are new, no? So I hope you all both were able to get something, even though we didn't actually do the topic. We'll do the topic next time.
Yeah, it was very good.
It was very good. Hari Om.
Hari Om, Janki.
Hari Om,
Thank
Janki.
you.
Janki ji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om
Janki ji.
Hari Om
Janki ji.
Thank you so much.
Hari Om Janki ji, thank you.
Hari Om.
Hari Om Janki ji, thank you.
Hari Om Janki ji, thank you.